Hello, everyone. My name is Patricia Silver. I'm your Worlds Miss Tourism 2022 and your host of Crown Different. Today, I am interviewing somebody very special. I've known her for about 2 years now through the world of pageantry, but she also inspired me to create Crown Different. So I would like to introduce you to Annette, and that's why I created Crown Difference, because I want women like you and everybody to say, look, it can happen. It can happen. And you build, once you start building that sisterhood, you don't realize the resources that you even have, even if it's just a cheer group. I just had a woman, she competed at tourism last year, and she has a store, and I was like, okay, I'm going to buy my gown for nationals. I wound up buying 2 from her, but these resources and just getting outside. I am not a glitzy person. Miss Terry probably tell you, I am not a glitzy person, but I'm stepping out of that comfort zone. And that tourism pushed me to the point where I did not want to jump into the water. But you know what? I will jump. I feel like sometimes I'm jumping in shark infested waters, and you know what? I'm going to come out swimming high, because it did that for me. And I can see you. I mean, you were always, when I first met you, you were always that encourager and always had words of wisdom. And yet I still see you grow as a woman. And that's what I want women to see, is that you grow. It's not just getting, anybody could throw on a pretty dress. Anybody could wear a sash and tiara. What are you going to do with it? And that's what pageantry pushes you to do something with it.
Yes, it does. And, embracing the work behind it, embracing the homework and the knowledge that you gain, it's just amazing. And yeah, at the end of the day, sometimes after I do my researches and, I one or guide someone, yes, I'm tired. It's like, oh, I can take off my crown. It's like when you take off all the layers of your gown, you're like, oh, I can breathe. But at the end of the day, it's like, wow, I did something different. I possibly touched somebody to wanting to do something different. And, I don't want people to think it's always fun. There is work. Yes. There is outreach that you have to perform, networks that you have to build, but not networks in a selfish way. It's networks where you're growing and helping the other person as well. It's a pay it forward type of thing.
Yes. And
presented your part of your to pay it forward instead of, okay, it's about me. This is my platform. Okay, thank you. Bye. You're like, you can do this too. How can we help you get your toe in the water? And then at the end of the day, ask yourself, what, did I die? No.
That's the way to say it. And you don't realize, again, how much you gain from competing in pageantry and the self-confidence. And I don't have confidence walking in heels. I wear itty bitty heels. Don't put me in 3-inch heels, because you're going to see a 50-year-old woman falling down. But I gained the strength to get on stage, and I did what I had to do. And then all of a sudden, I found my purpose, my calling, and that giving back, that community service, because it encompasses everything. That's what I do.
And a lot of people don't realize this because of the ongoing pandemic. I face a little bit of a challenge where I don't leave my house much. I will leave my house to do medication runs, doctor appointments, or emergency diaper runs. And people are like, well, being in a pageant system, don't you have to be out there? Don't you have to serve the community? And this is where I've learned to use the leverage of social media, because I don't want, again, another mom who might want to do the pageant is like, well, I can't leave my house. Honey, I can't leave my house either. Trust me, I know mask, regulations, everything is starting to get a little bit more relaxed, but I can't be selfish in that way because of my son. I don't want to risk being a carrier, being asymptomatic, and then he gets affected.
Right.
So if someone feels like, well, being part of your pageant system, don't you have to be out there? Yes, but I do it with social media, and I do it because, nothing against my son or anything like that. We're in the midst of a pandemic, so I have to kind of strategize a little bit. And that's our director. She was very supportive. She's like, if you can't leave your house, that doesn't mean you still can't represent. You can represent in many ways. And there were days where I've gone out safely. I put my mask on, and I put my crown and my sash on. I may not make an official appearance, but at least people see what is. They're curious at a safe distance. You can come and ask me, and I will tell you. But a lot of women, they're like, well, I have to leave my house and I have to do this, but I have to care for it. If you have to care for someone, that's okay. I don't leave my house, like I said, except for minimal things. And there are, festivals that are going to be coming about and happening. And would I love to be a part of it? Yes. But again, my platform is about my son and it's about his health. So, our nationals is coming up, and our directors know that I have to take it month by month.
Right.
So I may or may not be able to appear during nationals, but that doesn't mean my title went to waste, because it didn't. I was able to do it safely, and she understood. And if his doctors say, no, it's still kind of, because they look at everything, they break everything down for him. And if they say, no, national's not going to happen for you, if they do a virtual stream, I'm everyone's biggest cheerleader. I will cheer everyone on.
Yes, you would.
My home, my littlest one. And I'm not going to be bitter at all if I can't go. I can't go because of my son. He's my platform. And I want someone to realize, well, if she's part of a system that understands that she may not go, then maybe this is for me. And I, Miss Terry, this from the beginning, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make nationals, but I still want, to be honored with this title, if that's okay. And she was like, go ahead, show that you're present, think outside the box. And, I do as much thinking outside the box as I can and don't do. And that's where the Ronald McDonald charity comes in. I'll collect the podcast and I'll mail it to them instead of dropping it to them.
It's so great. But, and that's the one thing I noticed, because when I was Miss Texas Tourism 2021, that 2020 into 2021, that's when all heck broke loose and we didn't know what was going on. And with tourism, it was a little bit different back then, because like you said, you have to do something different. And with social media, which we couldn't do 10, 15 years ago, you're still making a difference in somebody's life. And you're letting them know what is going on. That is, wow, you're such is the word encyclopedia of wisdom. I mean, it's just, you got it.
It's all experience that I've experienced from, and hopefully instead of just keeping it to myself, just reaching out to someone, because there are, pageant systems out there that have, they're like, oh, well, we would love to have you, but you have to attend, and that's when I'll ask, are there different routes, or there an ambassador program where I, can stay home, because I'm not going to put my son in jeopardy to represent an organization that just wants to put you out in the public eye. Yes, we do have to be out in the public eye. There is that certain element, but working with an organization that will work with you and not frown upon, oh, well, why don't you just take a chance and come to nationals anyway, wear a mask and do this. It's much more than that, and with the tourism family, I've been supported awesomely. And knowing that, again, someone who's in our age range who can't leave their house, they can do this.
Exactly.
Different ways of doing it. There's different ways of reaching the public. And trust me, I love festivals and all the food trucks. There's food truck festivals happening. It'll be there in years to come. Right now, my calling is to be a caretaker for my son. Stay isolated in my house. I was blessed with a work from home job and being able to represent my title for a year from indoors.
That is, again, thank you for sharing that. I have one more question before we end. Will you tell our viewers about yourself outside the world of pageantry?
Sure. Outside the world of pageantry, I am a pajama, jeans, t-shirt, typical toddler mom looking woman. No makeup, hair. Well, I try to keep it as organized as possible. I enjoy, reading books. I'm finding my love again for belly dancing, which kind of fell by the wayside. Just to, again, do something for myself. And honestly, I don't like to exercise anyway. So I figured I'd do something that I like to
Keep
do.
moving. Oh, I understand.
I love, taking walks when it's nice outside in this quiet neighborhood, because it can't be in a populated area. I mean, my son deserves sunlight too. So we do little family walks modified. And I am like a Netflix and chill type of person. I really am. And there are days where I don't want to wake up for work, but I'm just basically, a lot of people, typical introvert, they're like, wait a minute, you're a pageant queen? I'm like, of course, why not? So I'm very chilled back, relaxed. My favorite food is mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Oh, girl. Yes.
If someone is watching the show tonight, we eat. We love doing normal things behind, the crown and the sash. And this is what I'm planning on doing on my Facebook fan page. I'm going to show people that we're normal people who like to walk around in our socks or without our socks. And I'm literally going to take things off layer by layer so they can see that we're real people.
Amen.
Literally,
Amen to that.
take off the makeup, take off the eyelashes, take off the crown and sash and the fancy clothes. You can catch me in my pajamas most of the day. I'm so ordinary. It's like, I'm probably one of the most, I don't want to say boring people, but I'm a homebody. I'm a typical 80s. I was born in the 70s, a child of the 80s, a teen of the 2000s, and adulthood of the 2000s. I'm a latchkey kid. I was, the amazing times of the 80s in New York City. Wasn't the prettiest, but I'm pretty much very simple. And I want to break that stereotype and continue what you're doing by saying we're normal people. We don't have these expensive tastes and we don't have these outlandish expectations. Popcorn, a movie, a blanket, I'm good. It's like, I would never thought myself would be one in Pennsylvania, but two, enjoying like pageantry and meeting new people and hopefully touching somebody, in some way where they might want to do something and not know how to do it. So
you listen, and I'm saying this because you inspired me to create Crown Different and interview, and that my heart was really touched by you. It's like, I consider you part of my pageant family, and you really, again, you've inspired me to do this and to touch people and to show who we are as real people.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, that just makes me so happy and giggly and everything. And I just hope that just one person could just be like, you know what, I was lost. I didn't know what to do in life, or, I had passions and it fell by the wayside. And now I thought I couldn't do it. It's like, you can do it. Anyone can do it. You just need that little glitter of a light to say, okay, they did it, so can I. And I tell everybody, I'm probably the most, and not to brag or anything, but my mentality is, I'm no better than anyone and no one's any better than me. Why are you stopping yourself? Don't listen to that. I mean, I sometimes listen to a little voice inside my head because I'm human. We're all human, but just go for it. And literally at the end of the day, ask yourself, but did I die? No.
Annette, thank you so much for allowing me to interview you.